Good morning. Get myself together here. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Give me 1 second. Hope everyone's having a great morning. I'm going to challenge myself to drink more water this morning. Good morning, Rich. See my water bottle? I'm actually going to try to drink all of this today. It's a little challenge for myself. Half of that? No, I'm going to drink the whole thing today. Okay? The whole thing today. All right. So I'm going to get started and talk a little bit. We're going to seed as much as we can today for the amount of time that we have. And what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about what I did to prepare for today. So to prepare for today, I disinfected or cleaned out. Good morning, Kim. How you doing? To prepare for today, I cleaned out and disinfected a lot of the seed starting devices that I have. So I cleaned a few of these trays out. I basically washed them with soap and water, rinsed them, then came back, sprayed them with a diluted solution of hydrogen peroxide, and then and then came back and then rinsed them and let them dry again. I'm sleepy today too, very, very sleepy. Kim says she's sleepy. Me too, sis. Me too. What I also did was I cleaned the trays as well. So I'm going to use the 4-cell trays this morning, simply because I don't want to have to up pot in as much. So when I use the 6-cell trays, they're in very much smaller cells, and then it was causing me to repot into the bigger trays and then repot them again before I plant them outside. So I cleaned these. I cleaned the tray. I wiped down all the lights. Oh, can I clean the camera? So it's a glare because of the, I'm going to try it though, just because you asked. It's a glare because I don't have the door open. Probably made it worse. It did. 1 second. I have some paper towel in here. Clean you off. I don't think that's better, but I can move the camera around and I'll talk from this way. So hope that's a little bit. What am I growing? So Frank White is asking in the chat, what am I growing today? Today I'm starting my fall seeds. So a few of the things that I'm going to start today are if I can't move the camera, I will in a second. I'm going to grow some I'm going to plant some collards, kale, cabbages, and whatever else I have on this table here. So I'll show you a little bit of the setup. The sun is behind me today, so I'll try to move this way. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Oh, one of the other things that I did to prepare for today was, I know that I told you guys that I don't use potting soil for my seedlings. So I went ahead and prep the cocoa core that I use. So the cocoa core that I used is these organic coconut core bricks. It's natural, organic, pH balanced, low level. So I use two of the bricks. I already put the water in and condensed them down. So the soil is all ready for us to go this morning. Like I said, if you buy the bricks separately, they come in these brick things, and you just boil some water, heat it up, and then you plop it down. Well, you pour it over the brick, and then it expands to, as you can see, the soil that we have here. Um, and so I'm going to just thank everybody for waking up with me this morning. It's very early. I know a few people are sleepy. I'm a little bit sleepier than usual today. Usually I'm like wide awake, but not this morning. So we're going to get started this morning. Um, and the main reason why I want to start these seeds is because just like everybody else's garden, you'll see that the summer plants are pretty much dying down, and we want to, while we're creating space, make sure we have plants to go in that space. So we're going to start. I'm going to put on my gloves. Where did I put them? Here they go. I'm going to put on my gloves, and one of the things that people fail to do is they wait to the last minute to do their seedlings. So I'm going to open up the case here where I have my seeds. On my live, you saw that I purchased some seeds, but I also had a lot of seeds of my own. And I use one glove on, one glove off for today. But essentially what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to talk to you guys while I do it today, is one of the things you want to make sure is that your soil isn't too moist. So if I squeeze it, some of it will stay in place, and then I can just crumble it apart. So, I could just squeeze it. It's still a little wet, but it'll also crumble apart very easily. I'm going to pack down the cells, but then keep the top of them fairly light. So go in, and then I'm just going to fill the whole thing. I actually might fill quite a few of them to make it a little bit easier for myself. So if you're in the chat this morning, can you tell me, do you do fall planting? What do you look forward to growing in the fall, or do you just let your summer be it? I'm a southern girl at heart, so I like to grow the greens during the fall, winter time. I'm going to put some covers on it so I can have it for most of the winter time, because when the frost hits it, it makes your greens sweeter. I don't know if a lot of people have noticed that, but so we have one tray completely full. You can see here, one tray completely full. Okay, one glove. Okay, yeah, one glove today because I need my free hand. The seeds are so small that I need the other hand to be kind of free. So Kim's question is, how many extra seeds do I plant to account for some that don't germinate? So since the seeds are so small, and in each seed pack it's about 250 seeds, I seed them sparingly because I'm doing these 4 cells. I'm going to put about 3, maybe 5 seeds in each cell pack, and hopefully all of them germinate, and then all I have to do is go in and thin them out. So I hope that answers your question, Kim. 3 to 5 seeds. Some can put more, some probably do less. To me, it's not a waste of seeds because we have so many. And if we're lucky, before these plants die out, come, end of winter or whenever they do, if I let it bolt and go to seed, I can get seeds from these, and it's still, better than buying a pack of collard greens in the store for, $9, $10. I paid $1.50 for one pack of seeds, and the pack of seeds have 150 seeds in them. No, 250, the pack says. So yeah, I mean, 2 to 3 seeds can do it. I might overdo it today, and see what happens. I'm just going to do a few of them because I don't want to run out of time, so I can let you guys see how I put in the seeds. The other thing is, some people think that I do all my seedlings in one sitting. I don't, because it can be very time consuming. So whatever I do this morning, I'll come back and do some when I have some free time today. I may do some in the morning, but it is important that I try to do them around the same time so that when I put if I have to put them on a heat mat, which I showed already on another. If you go back and you rewatch the live stream from Saturday, you can see what kind of heat mat I ordered. Most of these devices I ordered straight from, I'm an Amazon girl, so a lot of this stuff came from Amazon. Um, and so, even the coco, the bricks for the soil, the seedling soil, I got from Amazon. So it's pretty easy to get some things. So I'm going to do collard greens this morning. Hopefully I can get into some kale, maybe even some cabbage. Um, but the cabbage I actually want to put in a bigger container. Cabbage, the plant itself, in my opinion, spreads. So I'm going to put it in a bigger um, seedling container just so that I don't have to up pot it. The collard greens, they spread, but not so quick. They don't spread as quick. And when I say spread, I mean just like growing large in growth. So, and then um, I didn't get the question, but I'm going to answer the question. One of the things that about these seeds is it could take 7 to 10 days to germinate. Germinate meaning plop out of the soil and become a seedling. So it could take 7 to 10 days. So it also takes a lot of patience to do seedlings. So there's 4. Looking at the time. So Kim, other than collard greens, I know you grow collard greens. Can you tell me, do you grow anything else in the wintertime? Do you find winter growing? Does anybody find winter growing easier than summer growing? In my opinion, it is. You grow kale? Yeah, kale is very similar to collard greens, so it's pretty much the same growing process. Actually, outside, I set up some of the pots. I'm gonna take a shot at lettuce again. So I had lettuce before. I don't grow it a lot because I don't eat as many salads as I should. So I'm gonna grow some loose leaf lettuce in some pots outside, but I'm just gonna direct seed that once I put some potting soil in. So yeah, arugula, she said, so Kim is saying she likes arugula, but it's spicy. Yeah, arugula has a bite to it. I don't particularly like to eat too much arugula because of the bite. One of the things that you may like is Swiss chard. So that could be like almost an alternative. Rich, do you eat more salads? Rich is in my chat talking about eat more salads. Do you eat more salads, sir? Do you? A lot of people eat a lot of salads in the summertime too, just because they don't like to eat heavy stuff in the summertime because it's too hot to be just eating. So if you're new to the stream, come in and say hi. Hopefully we have some new viewers this morning. Just come in and say hi. I'm almost done. As you can see, this is why I left this for an indoor project, because it is very time consuming to pack the seed trays. So I have about half of this done. Let me just wipe some off the top. And what I'm going to do now is, see that, Rich, removing the gloves, because I actually want to be able to get the seeds, some seeds planted this morning. So the question in the chat is, how do I prepare my soil to go from summer planting to fall planting? Do I need to enrich the soil or know where certain plant to where to plant certain things? So that's a great question. What I normally do is, because I know that I normally fertilize my summer plants fairly often, that doesn't mean that my soil is fertilized and ready for my fall plants. So most of my fall plants are leafy greens. They need a lot of nitrogen. So once I pull out my summer plants, I'll go through, loosen up the soil where I can. And for me, and maybe everyone doesn't do this, but I go in and any, you know, just leveled out fertilizer I'll put in the soil before I plant. So anything that has an NPK of 10-10-10 or 5-5-5, I'll put that out in the soil. And sometimes if I see that my soil looks kind of like depleted, I'll throw some compost on top. Everyone, if you've been watching my streams, you know that I'm very partial to the black cow compost. So I may top off my soil with the black cow compost for the top. I'm actually trying to make my own compost. I have a compost bin in the back. So I'll do that and I'll water in the compost and everything. And then maybe a couple days later, I'll plant my plants. But when I plant the plants, I use not fish bone, but it's another fertilizer that I put inside of the hole before I plop the plant in. And that's pretty much what I do to prepare the plants for like good success. I just fertilize it and I prepare the soil and I add compost just to make sure that the plants start off with some great nutrients. And then once the plants are in the ground, I try to fertilize maybe every 3 weeks or so just to make sure that they're doing good. So um, with leafy greens, you want to make sure that they have a lot of nitrogen. Good morning, Zeta G27. Thanks for joining us. Are you a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated? I like the Zeta G. I don't know if you are, but so I don't want to assume. But good morning. Make sure if you're new to the stream, drop a like, hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate it. But back to getting to the planning. So what I'm going to do now is just so that you guys see what these seeds look like. So on the pack, it will tell you, any seed pack will tell you how many days to germinate. It gives you the plant spacing. So I'm a small yard gardener. I don't follow the plant spacing for the plants that I plant because they're going right in the backyard. So a lot of people that follow the plant spacing, they have very much bigger gardens and all the things in their backyards. So I don't follow the plant spacing, but I do pretty much look at the days to the last frost. So this seed pack is pretty much telling me that there's 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost. That's when you need to start the seedlings if you're going to start it indoors. And then if you just simply want to put the seeds outdoors, you do it 2 weeks before the last frost. So I'm getting a very good head start. And the reason why I'm doing it more than 2 to 6 weeks before is because I want to see how big the plants can get before I can get them outside. So even though I'm putting them into the fall small 4 cell trays, I'm eventually going to have to pot them up into these little pots, which is fine. And when I pot them up to these, I'll use potting soil. I had a brain lapse for a minute, so I had a bit of brain fog. So when I up pot them, they'll go right into this little pot right here, and I'll just pretty much have them grow. So what I would want for them to do is be big enough to where like they're in there and then they're lusciously growing on top of the little yellow pots. So collard green seeds, kale seeds, mustard seeds, they're very, very, very small, right? So right here I have 4, 8, well, I have a lot, but I don't know if I can kind of show you. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but in my hand here are the collard green seeds, right? And you can see they're pretty small. So in each 4 cell pack here, maybe I'll point the camera down so you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit. Let's see if I can do it without messing up this morning. Go down. All right. So I'll bring this over. Let me know if you can kind of see it kind of clearly. I'll take about 1, 2, 3. Just for good measure, I'm going to put 4 in each one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of try to spread them out a little bit. And what I want to do is just make sure they have good connection with the soil. 2, 3, 4. Do 2 of them. One of the things that I don't have out here this morning are my labels, so I got to make sure that I clearly place them so I know what each plant are, because the ones that I'm doing now are champion collard greens. And I know you can't see it into the soil, right? So let me just put this back. So I did, and just to make sure that they have good connection, yeah, so you usually just drop them and then they roll away. So I can see the seeds at the top. I don't know if you probably can't see it. It's probably not good enough to see. But I can kind of see where they are. And I'm just going to kind of like massage them in. I could take a little bit of the potting soil and just plop them in, press them down, right? Usually I have my little green tool that I use to plant green beans, and I pretty much loosen up the soil. But this morning I'm doing it with my finger. Be sure to wash my hands when I go inside. So I'm essentially massaging them into the soil, making sure that they go under. Take a little bit of soil, spread it on top. And like I said, this can be a very relaxing process because it takes so long. Take some, put it on the top. And because I know I have all 4, this one is done. Do the same to this one. If you're new to the channel, drop a like, subscribe, all of the things this morning. Appreciate everybody for coming on into the chat with us this morning. If you're new to the channel, drop a like, subscribe so you can follow any of the content that I'm trying to do for everybody and for myself. I like to go back and watch some of my videos to see if I talked about certain things, because a lot of times people will text me questions and I can now refer them back to the video, which is great, which I don't mind telling people too. But so we have champion collard greens planted this morning. But one of the things that I'm going to do to just make sure I remember what it is grab my label, put it in so I don't forget. And just because, oh no, these are Georgia Southern. See, I was almost messed up that quick. But I'm going to just put the seed pack here so that I know. And then when I go back to write it, I'll know exactly what's planted where. I've made some gardening mistakes in the past by not doing labels and not knowing what's what, and I have confused collard greens with kale seedlings, and I don't know what's what until they come out. So those were Georgia Southern, a very popular brand of collard greens. I'll now go into the actual champion collard greens. They look a little bit different, which is fine. Some stuck to the glue that they sealed it shut. So I'm going to do basically the same thing. So this is more less a wash, rinse, repeat type of thing. I'm going to do the same thing that I've done in the past that I just did with those 8. So spread them out. These seeds look a little bit different than the other seeds, which I'm kind of surprised about. They're like more brown. Do this one a little bit quicker because I want to move into one of the other plants so that I can show you guys. Sometimes the seeds do look a little bit different. What's so funny, Rich? I see your LOL there. So, like I said, I'm going to massage these into the soil. Just make sure they have good contact. My alarm's going off, but I'm going to go a little longer today. Can't believe, did I drink my water yet? Not yet. I had some this morning. Trust and believe this container of water. What zone am I in? I am in zone, so 2 size healthier is asking what zone I'm in. I am in zone 7, 7, 8-ish. The weather's been kind of funky this year, so who knows when we're gonna get our first frost versus when, if it's gonna come early or late. I like getting a healthy start because I do a lot of seedlings. Not only do I do them for myself, um, I do a few seedlings for quite a few other people who have gardens around me. We like to make sure that all of our friends are nice and healthy, eating straight from the garden, not having to buy those expensive uh, packs of collard greens and kale and whatever else out of the store. We like to do our own thing. So these are champion collards that I'm planting. What zone are you in? Size 2A size healthier. I'm gonna take a guess and say that you're in zone 2 or something. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Do you plant seedlings for the fall? And then the third type of collard is vates. You're in zone 7. Are you starting any fall seeds? You know, I'll wait for the vates collards. What I'm gonna do now is show you guys some kale. So I like what I call dinosaur kale, but I think it's called lacinato kale. It looks kind of weird, you see from the front, but I use these when I'm making like smoothies and things like that. Miss T with the tea. Good morning. Good morning to you. What kind of tea do you have? Beyblade Times, you're one of the ones that need seedlings. I got you. I got you. We'll talk about it. What kind of seedlings do you need, Beyblade? If you're new to the channel, collards and dino kale, yeah, I like collards and dino kale too. That's essentially what I'm planting this morning. Um, I'll plant out some more stuff today though. And I'll come back and maybe what I'll do is I'll take a picture when it's all done and I will drop it into my YouTube channel so that you guys can see everything labeled up. So that's the dinosaur kale. I'm gonna go in and do a few more of these trays. Miss T got some funny shorts. I'm gonna have to go back and watch you, Miss T. I think I might have subscribed because I think you may have written something on one of my, you might have gave me some good comments. Beyblade, she says, I asked her what kind of seedlings she said she need all of them, especially the collards. I hear you, girl. When you guys cook collards, what do you put in them? I'm curious. Look at you, Rich, getting some love in the chat. You made her blush. Made her blush. If you're new to the channel, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Go in and watch a few videos if you haven't already. So, plop in some. Next time I gotta bring my turkey wings, avocado oil, and oh, that sounds good. I'm gonna have to try that. So, size 2 healthy. I said, what do you make your greens in? She said turkey wings, avocado oil, and okra. Now I've never put okra with collard greens before in my life, but I do grow okra. Turkey necks, yeah, I use a lot of turkey necks too, Beyblades. Um, my husband does not eat pork, so we use turkey necks over here. My grandmother has used turkey butts before, so Yeah, we getting it together here. So just because I have some time on my hands, I'm gonna do a couple more of these cells. Just gonna keep going. Put these gloves on. Again, thank you all for coming in and watching me this morning. It could seem kind of boring, but I like it when people come in and chat with me while I'm doing gardening stuff. Makes the time go by faster. Definitely the turkey necks, Miss T with the T. Definitely the turkey necks. But yeah, I like it when people come in and chat with me. What else do you cook other than collard greens? Um, what do I fertilize my greens with? I use the Alaska fish something. What is the name of it? It's on the tip of my tongue, but it stinks though. It smells really, really, really bad. I don't know. Kim, do you remember the name of it? The Alaska fish something. That's what because the it might be 511, but it smells horrible. Just smell like fish guts. It smells horrible, but it's good for your greens, and it has a lot of nitrogen in it. It just a rule of thumb though, any fertilizer for greens that have like a lot of um, nitrogen in it, because nitrogen is what helps like the foliage growth, leaf growth. Those are generally like really good fertilizer for like your greens and things like that. And then like if you have like root crops, um, fish meal, and like was it fish bone fertilizer, that pretty much helps with your root crops and things like that. Like let's say you're growing beets or carrots or whatever for the winter. So there are like a lot of different fertilizers that are good for different things. So yeah, like fertilizing is a must, and a lot of people they forget about it when they get the plants in. They're just so happy to have their plants in, and they forget to go back and fertilize. So like I said, when I first do my um, when I first prep my soil, I fertilize the soil real good to pretty much give me a head start. And then I go in every, 3 weeks or so and I give it a good dosage. But I'm also very attentive to my plants. Like I'm out in the garden, like I go out and I look, and it seems kind of weird to some people. I might talk to the plants a little bit. Um, so people may see me mumbling in the backyard sometimes. Sometimes I'm mumbling because I have like a lot of birds and squirrels around here, and they go in and they dig like little holes around where I plant. So currently what I'm growing in the ground are like my summer crops, which is why I'm starting my seedlings indoors. So I have a bunch of tomatoes out there, zucchini, cucumbers, green beans. Um, what else do I have? Tons and tons and tons of peppers. I have strawberries in the ground. So I have a lot of stuff in the ground. So I don't have the proper space right now to put all the stuff out. So I'm just giving myself a head start so that when I do pull it up, I'll have established seedlings. Thank you for the question. Two size A healthier. All right. So that's 3. Let me try to get at least one more so I'll have a total of 8 additional ones. So before I do that, let me just show you guys something. When I was cleaning out my my trays, this is a great time also to do inventory, because then you'll see which ones are like broken. So this one is broken. I can't use this one anymore. So I just throw it off to the side. And I don't know what happened, but this one kind of like, if you look on the inside, it like melted. So I can't use this tray anymore. I'm going to toss it in the garbage. So that was one of the things that I saw whenever I was disinfecting and cleaning my seedling trays. And I don't know if I told you, but the reason why I clean the seedling trays is because I don't want my seedlings to dampen off. So a lot of times the seeds will sprout, and then after like a week or a couple days, you'll see that they'll die off. And that's because they're dampening off. So there could be like some type of bacteria or fungus within your seedling trays from the year prior. And if you don't clean them and nurture them before you do the planting, you run the risk of your seedlings dying out before their time. So that is what, that's why I had to clean everything yesterday to make sure I was ready to start planting some stuff today. Give myself a little bit of time here. So I just did 4 more of the trays. And then also what I do is, oh, you're welcome, Miss T with the T. I like your name. Maybe I wish I had come up with like a catchy name. So what I'm also going to plan out here is, even though I have the dino kale, I also have another type of kale, which in my opinion sometimes resembles, it resembles collard greens, so you can get them mixed up fairly easy. But the reason why I know it's not like the, not only because I planted it before, but the tips around the kale is pretty curly. And this resembles the kale that you may buy in the store, in those big bags that cost like $5-10 a bag. So this seed pack might have cost me $1.50, $2. And just by planting one plant alone, I can get enough that would have filled that bag. So when you grow your own food, you're saving money. And I don't know about anybody else, but I love saving money. Okay. So these seeds pretty much look similar, but one thing that I noticed about kale seeds in general, they're not larger, but they're more like grayish, whereas the collard green seeds are more like brownish. So that's the one thing about that kale. So right now I have 8 of each so far. I'm going to go back in a little bit later today. I have a totally another one that I could put them in. So, and then what I'm also going to do is take my water pail. The reason why I put them in these trays is because I bottom water. You never want to come in on top in water after you put these tiny, tiny seeds in, because you don't want them to come back up. And, you know, then it's almost like a waste. You're going to have like, they're not going to germinate properly. So I'm going to just keep tossing in some seeds here. And then it rained last night, so that did me a favor. I don't have to rush and water today, which is great. Put this right here. Grab a little bit more. Are there any other like fall seeds other than kale and collards and cabbage that you guys plant? Has anybody? She said, I'm just full of notes and info. You know what? I try, because it took me a long time to learn the right way to do things. So I've been doing things trial and error, and I don't know about anybody else, but it's good when you have that one friend or the one person that you can go to ask the question, so that A, you don't waste your money trying all these trial and errors of planting. But in my opinion, I like it when I have something to refer back to. Over the years, I have frequented a lot of people's YouTube videos. I'm a Googler, so I Google a lot as well. So, you know, a lot of the things that I'm saying today, I've learned over the years. And it's helped me have like a very successful garden. So I can't be mad at that at all. So what time is it? 6:53. I'm going to give myself 2 more minutes, because I have a camper that I have to wake up and get to camp this morning. So let me just stop right here. Let me put this seed pack so I know what to label it, because I don't want to make any. That's one of my biggest gardening mistakes. Sometimes I go so fast, and I forget the labels, and I have no idea what's in these seed trays, right? So I made sure that in each seed tray, it's the same seed, so I only need one label. I've done it before where I've put multiple seed things in multiple things, and then I took the labels out to water it, and then I had no idea what I planted. But that's another thing for another day. So I just want to thank everybody for joining me this morning in this live stream Make sure you watch some videos in the channel. There's lots more information and lots more to come. There's some projects coming out. You see Beyblade's in the chat. You'll see her project drop in a couple weeks. If you need any help with any gardening questions, please drop a comment in the comment section. I'll come back and answer any of the questions that I know the answer to. And if I don't know the answer, I'll make sure I research it and get back to you as quickly as I can. Make sure you come back and join me for another live stream. Again, I'm Farmer Chess, and thank you for joining me this morning. Everybody have a great day and happy gardening, everybody.